Hello and welcome to the next video of my World's 2023 preview series where we're going to cover Gen.G, otherwise known as Generation Gaming. From the LCK, they are the number 1 seed from Korea, playing in their home region. The last 3 years, the first seed from the LCK has finished worse and worse in the previous format. In 2020, Damwon Kia would win as the first seed, then finished second in 2021, and then last year, Gen.G finished in the semifinals third, fourth. Does this mean that they're going to finish in the 5th, 8th slot? I mean, I doubt it, but, you know, that's what the trend is, right? The coach of Gen.G is Score, longtime KT jungler, as well as a person in our Discord Hall of Fame for LOL Esports. Average age of this roster is 21.6 years old. Has the youngest player at the tournament on this team. There's a lot to like about this team. There are narratives for sure. We'll see if they can finally get it done with this iteration and this type of roster. Let's put it that way. In top lane, we have Doran at 23 years old. He took on a more carry-oriented role this past split. Formerly a weak side king, if you will, and this year Peanut gave him a lot of love as this team had a very different look to it. He had a 4-1 KDA, 8.5 CS per minute, 55.9 KP, 424 gold per minute, which is 21.5% of the team's gold. 520 damage per minute is 23.5% of the damage. On average of 15 minutes, he wasn't blowing out his opponents, but he got a lot of resources in the mid to late game. He was only up 365 gold, 2 CS, and 150 XP. But keep in mind, every game he went even. There was a game where he was 730 gold ahead of his lane opponent, which is a significant difference. 20 solo kills, 11 champions in 50 games. There's a lot of aggression out of Doran this past summer. Internationally, he's 22-18 in his career. In the 40 games, Worlds 2020, out in quarters. Last year, out in semifinals, and at MSI 2023, he'd be out in semifinals. By the way, I didn't reference. Score is 18-13 internationally with the team at Worlds 2022 and MSI 2023, finishing third, fourth. In Doran's 40 games, his numbers are not super strong, and they are indicative of a facilitator, a tank player, a guy that fell on the sword. This year, like I said, it's a little different. So these numbers, a 1.6 KDA, 7.9 CS per minute, 53.5 KP. 374 gold per minute, 448 damage per minute. And it's really clear how good Doran is as a player because in the first 15 minutes, despite being a weak side player, he is ahead of his lane opponents. He's up about 140 gold, 1 CS, 100 XP, and had 15 solo kills in those 40 games. So a player that's definitely underrated. I think I underrated him over the years a bit. And this year, Peanut's given him some opportunities, and he's taken them. Speaking of Peanut, he's the oldest player on the team at 25 years old. Very interesting. So, like I said, this team's different. Peanut had a lot of carry opportunities this past split. A lot of resources given his way. 7.2 KDA, 6.2 CS per minute, 71.9 KP. 364 gold per minute is 18.6% of the team's gold. 331 damage per minute is 15.2% of the damage. He was a big part of the team, bigger than he usually, has been in years past. On average, domestically, he's ahead of the other junglers by a good margin. 275 gold, 6 CS, 270 XP, 3 solo kills. In 50 games, he played 11 champions. Juggling this roster would not have been easy. I don't think I predicted Gen.G to make Worlds, if I recall. And a lot of it had to do with Peyz, and Delight, for that matter. Losing Ruler and the Hens is a big blow. But Gen.G were able to continue, and I think a lot of that has to do with Peanut and him juggling, boosting Doran up, leaving Chovy to his own devices, and then helping Peyz. Excuse me. Peanut has 101 games under his belt internationally, going 67-34. Sorry, wrong. 67-39, so 106 games played. Worlds 2016 and 2022, he'd finished in semifinals. 2017, runner-up. 2020, out in group stage. At MSI, he won 2017. 2018, he finished runner-up, and then this past MSI, 3rd, 4th. In the 106 games played, his numbers are strong, but we also have to keep in mind this dates back to many different metas. This is a career that covers a lot. We talked about this with Faker's numbers. You have numbers from the prime, even pre-prime, prime, and then the latter points of a player's career to take into account. So 3.5 KDA, 5.3 CS per minute, 66.7 KP. 354 gold per minute, 284 damage per minute. On average, does not blow out opposition junglers internationally. Up about 75 gold, down a couple CS, and barely any XP. 21 solo kills in 106 games. And really, the splits at 15 minutes are not massive for him, and like I said, actually behind a bit. But that's because of the way he's played over his career. Like I said, he's a facilitator. So for him to have this carry mentality for a lot of this split was a shock to me, honestly. It was a big surprise. Gen.G had a very different look, and honestly, that makes them scary at this event. This isn't your Gen.G of the last few years. This is not Gen.G with ruler on it. In mid lane, we have Chovy. Chovy is one of, if not the best players in the world. Depends on how you feel. Chovy and Knight are neck and neck. Carrier is up there as well, like I said in the T1 video. His numbers very good. I mean, Chovy is excellent. 7 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 70.9 KP. 430 gold per minute, that's 22% of the team's gold. 593 damage per minute, that's 26.7% of the damage. On average, blows out LCK junglers, mid laners. 305 gold up, 7 CS, 160 XP. So if you're noticing something here, the mid-jungle duo gets ahead of the LCK mid-jungles, which is a big deal because the LCK is an elite region, right? So if they're doing that there, at this event, I imagine Peanut and Chovy are going to be a bit ahead at 15 minutes. 10 solo kills, 12 champions in 50 games. Chovy has 68 games under his belt internationally, going 39 and 29. Worlds 2019, 2020, and 21 out in quarters. 2022 out in semifinals. This past MSI was his first go and went out in semifinals. Internationally, his numbers are that of a guy that only focuses on himself. 3.3 KDA, 9.3 CS per minute, 59 KP. That's a big deal. Historically, Chovy has been a bit selfish. The Tyler 1 copy pasta or whatever was like, if you leave farm out there for Chovy to get it, you can bait him, he'll take it, and you can kill him in game. So if that was the case, that wasn't an if, that was the case, that he was like that. This past year, a different look to Chovy, taking on a more of a facilitator role, providing Peyz with a little bit of, honestly, like proximity. Like he roamed down quite a bit, especially in spring, but sometimes in summer. And even in summer, Peanut spent a lot of time with Doran, like I said. So that left Chovy on his own. And they weren't playing for Chovy, and Chovy wasn't playing for himself, if that makes sense. 3.3 KDA, 9.3 CS per 59 KP, like I said. 420 gold per minute, 515 damage per minute. Like, that's the thing. Not a lot of damage, really. At 15 minutes, Chovy shows why he's dominant. Like, internationally, on average, 435 gold, 15 CS, 355 XP. The games that Chovy goes even, he's ahead 30 CS against someone else. And that's across 68 games. That's why I say Chovy is one of the best. And for the past couple of years until 2023, I had him as the best. 20 solo kills in the 60 games. I mean, Chovy is cracked out of his mind. A great player. Absolutely out of this world talented. Speaking of out of the world talent, we have Peyz. At 17 years old, he's taken the league scene by storm. He's a great player. I'm really interested to see how he does next year, following up this year. It's going to be hard to do better than this year, especially depending on how they do at Worlds. But he has been a star. He really has. 6.9 KDA, 10.2 CS per minute, 73 KP. 486 gold per minute, that's about 25% of the gold. 629 damage per minute, that's about 28% of the damage. All very standard for any age of an 80 carry, let alone a rookie, a underaged rookie, essentially. On average, does not get ahead of lane opponents. He and Delight do not blow out early games. 65 gold and 110 XP up. Only 2 solo kills in 50 games, 13 champions played. However, he had 3 pentas. More pentas than solo kills. I mean, honestly, try and find me a player that over a 50 game sample that you can say that about. That's, like I said, more mid to late game is where Peyz really comes online. And like this bot lane does not dominate in the 2v2. At MSI, where he'd go 8 and 7, he did not look out of place, in my opinion. These numbers are great. 4.4 KDA, 99 CS per minute, 66 2 KP, 458 gold per minute, 587 damage per minute. On average, was behind internationally at 15 minutes. A little bit of gold, 5 CS, and a little bit of XP. 2 solo kills in 15 games. At support, we have Delight, 21 years old. Another great, played much better with Gen.G than he did with Brian last year. Goes to show you Brian is where players are held back. 6'2 KDA, 75 5 KP. So he is the most active player on the team. Over 3 out of every 4 kills, Delight has his fingerprints on for Gen.G. 316 vision score per minute. Places 8 wards every 5 minutes. 2 control wards every 5 minutes. Clears 1 ward every 5 minutes. 1 ward every 3 minutes. 13 champions, 50 games. Like Peyz, he's only played internationally this past MSI. In those 15 games, he had a 3.4 KDA, 67 9 KP. And vision score numbers are very good. His warding was excellent at the event. 324 vision score per minute. Places about 8 wards every 5 minutes. A control ward every other minute, and clears 1 ward every 3 minutes. So his vision actually very, very comparable to his domestic numbers, which is a surprise because it's international. And I'm sure a lot of people are like, yeah, but look at what Elk and On did, or this or that. Elk is significantly older than Peyz. That's a big deal, needless to say. Both first event, but Elk is a lot older than Peyz is. This is just, like this team, there's narratives out the wazoo about it. It's a great team. It's a team that people can get behind, I think, in many different ways. It's going to be interesting to see just how Peyz does, because this is a big deal. Now you're playing at home in Korea, and it's going to be massive. So yeah, that's it for this video. Thank you for watching. If you liked the video, like it, subscribe to this channel for daily League of Legends content. Follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, become a YouTube supporter, and hope to see you again tomorrow.